That's all we need to order. Rick's gonna be late. He's on a record call, so. I guess we'll start with a pledge of allegiance to the flag.
It's a lot closer.
Pledge allegiance to the flag,
States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Second,
I haven't seen them yet.
it's been minutes.
Well, I saw them on the website, not the
You've already
website. on
signed
the-
it.
Yeah, I saw them on the email I got.
You're gonna make a motion?
Yeah, make a motion, we accept the minutes.
And a second. All right. So tonight's department heads, and we're gonna start with tax collector Tozer.
I don't really have anything to talk about. I did want to mention, we need to pick a date for the holiday party. And I'll just throw that idea out there so it's on top of our minds. We don't have to discuss it tonight or anything, but it's getting close to the holiday party. To the holidays, so we need to plan what day that's gonna be. That works for everyone. And,
I
yeah,
would say that would best done in the office, because you're all here, so I don't know.
yeah, just let us know if there are days that will not work for everyone. And we can plan it accordingly.
For me, for one, doesn't matter, because I'm pretty free right now.
Okay.
And Beth, is Beth here tonight?
No.
All right, Cindy, I guess you're up.
I'm gonna go ahead, with Great Patch, we do have a missing dog on Burnell Middle Road. Zeke. He did post on me, lost dog recovery, several pages, so hopefully we can get him back home. If anybody sees him, call the owner, it's on the Facebook page. As the barking dog complaint, and on January 4th, we're gonna be open at the town office for the rabies clinic, it's gonna be here to 8 to 11. The cost is gonna be $15. And we don't need to have this whole runway open, cause we usually do it here with the window. Ever since COVID, we just open up that little window over there, and they come to the door. Scott grabs the dogs, the cat, whatever, brings them in, gives them the shots. And back up the door, and they pay everybody through the window, so we don't need the whole, nobody use the whole building.
Oh, that's it.
That's all I have.
That's it? All right, Dickie, you're up.
Well, we did one mutual late call to Senate Conway for a structure fire. There's 7 medical calls, 2 accidents, and an outside fire during a turkey dinner. I want to thank everybody that did come for the turkey dinner. I think it was a good turnout. Thank the crew for their work, their hard work, and their putting it together. Working on the building still, all the paperwork, and working on our shape program. That's what we do next year, so I've got a lot of stuff I gotta do paperwork wise to get that into play. And I'm gonna ask the question, is it all right? I got a letter from the state senate on this grant for a commercial washing machine to wash our turnout gear. They've come out with a grant that they'll pay up to $5,000, and I wanna know if I can put in for that. It's 100% grant, they'll pay the whole thing. We buy it and they reimburse us. But if it's a little bit more, then we have to cover. And I want to be all right if I try for it. It could go in our fire station for now, but it could be moved into the new fire station. One less thing we'd have to buy if the state pays for it. I want to if I could be.
Is it, you correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as applying for grants,
Yeah.
wasn't something said about not applying for them if we had to?
If you have a percentage or a, you know, or. If there was a, what's the word I want? Obligation of money you had to put forward.
Right.
This one here is 100%, that's what they say. But we have to pay for it, but they reimburse us. But if it costs like $6,000, we have to have $1,000, we have to $5,000.
Okay,
And
I don't see why you wouldn't.
I think I think it'd be a good thing to try for. It's for a washing machine, there is one for a exhaust removal system, but we're in no shape we can get that because we're not ready with the building to do something like that. And they pay up to $10,000 for the exhaust system. We're not ready for that. With a washing machine, I could probably make work in the fire station. Took it easy.
Yeah, good.
Other than that, moving along.
I don't see Whit here tonight.
No, he's out.
For the building committee,
Yes,
you asked me to fill in, Frank.
okay,
So, right now, we're finishing up what we've been calling wish and wants lists. And that's mainly what the fire department, would really like to have in the building. And then hopefully what they can have in the building. And then there's, Doug also had a pretty extensive list of things that had more to do with, what was going to be in the building itself. As far as HVAC system, electrical, so forth and so on, underground tanks, things of that nature that the fire department would like to have also. And then our next step is to finish up the request for proposal. We have about 7 architectural firms right now that are interested, and we hope to get that done by the end of December, and then get that out so we can start talking to architectural firms.
all right. All right, the man with the badge.
Thank you. I had hopes that tonight I'd be handing out the certificates for the folks who attended those sessions a week ago. I did get an email that said they were in the mail. So we'll just wait till they come from next door. And I'm sure that between Alvina and I, we can figure out where these people are hiding and get them to the appropriate individuals. And I did attend the dinner on Saturday night, and it was very well done. I thought it was real good dinners. My thanks to the fire department.
And Mike, code enforcement.
So we've got a couple things going on. Last meeting we had, one of the residents from Moody Meadows had come in and explain her displeasure with the neighbor on Indian Trail with building a house. There was 2 more complaints, written complaints came in with that, and I can provide that for it. At the end of the day, it's all back to the same thing, you know what I mean? Just because they don't like it doesn't mean that I have any enforcement over it. It's just the brass tacks of it.
All right,
When you buy land like that, and whether if you like that they're clear cutting it or not, they're able to do that. There's nothing in the code saying they can't. There was some concern about erosion and runoff and such. I didn't get a chance to go up there today, but it'll be pretty evident if there was an issue with it, after the rain we got today. So I don't foresee any problems. I mean, I've already been up there and inspected it once before, and I didn't see any oncoming issues. It wasn't like it came right down into somebody's property. There was still a small buffer there. There's still vegetation on the ground. So I just don't see it's not like it all got clear cut and then graded off flat and then a bunch of erosion is going to take place. So I didn't see that. Stumps being pulled, trees being cut. Fuck that, they're all within their means of doing what they want to do.
all right.
So that was what I come up with. I don't have any problems with the build thus far.
All right. That's it.
Well, the only other thing I guess would be the ordinance that is on the agenda tonight for the fire ordinance, but Dick, you'll probably chime in with that, so if there's any questions from the code side, that let me know and I'll do my best to answer them.
He's over risky to the flood.
I'm sure Cliff's not here, he probably dragging a deer out of the woods. Willie,
Yeah, rec department. I'd like to start by giving you just a little update on the field work out here on the ball field. We're going to put down some mulch and some seed next week. Looks like we're gonna get some cold weather, so we're gonna go for some hopefully dormant seeding. Hopefully the cold weather lasts throughout the winter on that. I've done some, talked to some people and looked into it. It seems like as long as we don't get real warm weather, then will give us a good jump start on the grass next year. Upcoming events, we have the stud event, which is also known as the Christmas Craft Fair, Shop to You Draw. That's the Saturday, December 14th, 9 to 2. We will have Santa there. We have pictures with Santa. We'll have a variety of trucks. Fire departments will bring down a tanker, and the sheriff's department will be there. We'll have a few other things. Hopefully, the snowcat. I've reached out to the guy that had that last year. That was a big hit. We have snow. That'd be good. That afternoon, we're looking for looking to do the Christmas lighting out here. Just kind of putting it out there now to see if people are interested in getting together around 4 after the event to light the tree out front here. So if you're interested in joining us for that, reach out to me or just be here on the 14th. Besides that, we've got following Friday, we're doing a movie night for kids. And the first Friday of the month, we're doing book club at 4 p.m. The first Monday is watercolor and paint class 1 to 3. And no coffee hour this week. And yoga is going to be moved till tomorrow night because of Thanksgiving. So that's what I got. Have a good Thanksgiving.
thanks, Willie. All right, this will go to correspondence file. I don't. It says here to discuss the dog and municipal fire department order. I haven't even looked at this, so I'm not gonna discuss. May look easy. Is it in here?
No, I haven't seen it.
You haven't?
I have not seen it yet. I'm thinking it's supposed to have been here. From the attorney. That's all.
Oh, okay. Well, Rick might know what it is. I haven't seen it, so I'll we'll skip over that, I guess. Let me see here. You good with the list of all the things? You're supposed to discuss a meeting date with Bill Allen. He's new to town, he's building valuations. Who's still out?
He's our insurance agent. It's
Oh,
in the
okay.
correspondence. We have them valued at a certain amount by our assessors, and the insurance company has them valued differently. And Ricky wanted some explanation on it. So Phil would like to talk with you guys either Tuesday or Wednesday next week. And either in a meeting like this, or during the day, he doesn't care which, but I need a date to tell him so that he can firm it up. And if you pick during the day, I will have time enough to post it. Otherwise, if it's in a meeting night, it's already gonna be posted.
So either day is good with Ricky, Tuesday or Wednesday?
He has not told me anything.
Well, I guess we can pick a day. What about the
But you wanna do it at the selectmen's meeting or?
Tuesday during the selectmen's?
Sure, that sounds good to me.
Tuesday night.
Yeah, Tuesday night.
This whole thing, all of a sudden,
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Me too.
Get off this much of it, this much of it, 79. All right. Then we got a email from Barry Littlefield concerning Corn Hill Road.
Yeah, that was the one you sent, the other guy, put a gate on his road, but he's gonna leave it unlocked,
Correct,
so the road can still be used.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And we finished here. He spoke with Gary last night. And he's had steps for us.
So I take it this guy lives on Corn Hill Road
No, he does not. He has property
and he wants to put
in
it in.
town. No, the other guy that you talked with last week, I believe,
Yeah.
put the gate on his road.
Oh, on it, okay.
But he has told him he could get there, so he can use it, I guess, for now.
Well, we get
But
that
what
set, right?
happens down the road? If he decides to lock it, then what happens?
Well, there is another way in there, but we need to go up there and look at it.
yeah, that's fine with me. I went in on, Snowville Road, the wrong end.
If you
'Cause
go
I
in,
looked at the map USA, whatever, and they put me on that end, but,
if you go in that road that's been upgraded off of Santa Conway, goes in just a little ways. And if you just go straight, you go right on to Corn Hill Road,
uh-huh,
right? And there's it kind of goes to the right, there's a sign right there that says private way, which it is, that up there is private, but the first part of that, even though they upgraded it, is part of Corn Hill Road,
part of the public road.
so. That's what I take anyways, I'm not a,
What does that come in on Center Conway Road? If you're going towards Conway, it'd be on the left. But approximately where there, is it past, Jeff's garage or?
no, this side,
The
right on
side?
top of it, there's a hill that's right on top of
Yeah,
it.
okay,
If you pitch down the other side, well, you do pitch down the other side just a little bit and that road will be on your left.
okay.
The second entrance.
Yeah, someday you wanna go there, well,
You should let me know the date so I can post it and it could be a legal meeting.
pardon me?
You should let me know the date that you guys.
Oh, yeah, yeah, post it, yeah,
So legal meeting and people can go.
go on the, walk it with us, yeah.
All right, we have an email.
He did, right? He's gonna say them.
That's all right, this is an easy one, I can handle it. The signed contract, to put the shoulders on Burt Meadow. All right, that go down right to you.
Oh, keep going. It's your meeting.
I don't wanna take the job away.
No, we're good.
All right.
Well, at least let me hit the gavel when we end, okay?
In case things get out of order here.
Wow.
Let's see this. To who?
Done it many times, sir.
Put it out there for you.
Shank.
What is this? Photo. Including.
Yeah, he helps people find work. So if the town is looking for any help down the road, he's offering his services. He works for the state and he's offering his services also to the towns.
How do you get in touch with
So I
them?
thought it was good to have. You did?
No, it's, how do you get in touch with them?
Right there.
Yeah, got phone number and everything.
Oh, okay, so.
Email.
Email. That's good.
It's good to have.
Looking for a job?
All right, we got some information from the Burnt Meadow Brook and Pine Grove Cemetery. It's really
That's what your agenda is.
I know I saw it someplace, so it's not in here.
No, it's not in there.
Look, give this back to you now. All right. On the Pine Grove Cemetery, I'm not gonna read the whole thing because it's about 3 pages. But basically, the cemetery is asking for $4,400 a year from the town. Is that what they're then asking? Yep. Now, I got a question about that.
Yeah,
Isn't that cemetery on the contract with that guy we hired to do this?
I didn't think they were, no, just the outliers. I thought he just.
It's not on there?
I didn't,
I was surprised, well, cause I see a list and I see it on there and I said, I don't think we do that. So,
The hidden child moves at our cemetery.
Yeah.
And Travis, his brother, Zach, his brother, mows, Brook Meadow.
yeah, that's right.
yeah,
Zach.
Zach.
and then I
I
got
remember
that.
that kid's name.
but on the last line, looks like they're asking for 2 years.
You got one of these?
Nope.
Wanna read
You
that?
should know, he does with his
For
agenda.
2 years, is that,
Yes,
is that Pine?
Pine Grove, yeah, they said they're looking
Yeah.
for last year's, they didn't get, and
Yep,
this
I
year's.
just mailed it out today, so. We got that and
Oh,
then,
so they got their 44, so they're just gonna ask for 4,400 for the new budget.
yes,
Yep, okay, so they got it.
Oh, get this all got
No,
down.
next year,
Hours
we'll
and
get this,
What's that?
no, next year, we'll get this year.
the budget.
Yeah, you mailed them this year's,
correct.
yeah. And you'll be asking for next year.
We got this, we got this here, letter from David Childs to do with Burnt Meadow Brook Cemetery. And he explains how he's been doing it for the last 10 or more years. We have taken care of the cemetery for $800. We requested an increase and received an extra $100 due to the increase in the labor and not counting all the equipment, gas and oil and the blades, trim lines and all that stuff. I guess he's eating that. And the debris from the microburst that came down Main Street last fall. We are asking for an increase of $700. So that, which sounds very reasonable to me for what they've been getting. To make the cleaning and mowing for the year 1,600, which would be because of this. Well, actually, I don't think the math's too good. Because 807 is
15,
1,500, not 16, but he got $100.
Increase, yeah.
so that's 9 and 760.
Oh, okay, I see now, yeah. So the total 1,600 to help offset any Memorial Day winter cleanup and mowing. And he goes into detail of the hours that they put in and everything. This is basically for the budget committee. This really. And that's all there is in that agenda, that correspondence. I don't know if you got something else you wanna.
You go over your farming estimates? You go over these?
No,
All right, we got, and Willie, you were getting these estimates. We got 2 plumbing estimates to upgrade the bathrooms in the community center to be ADA compliant with our assessment.
One's Collins Plumbing and Heating, cost move the piping and replace fixtures in half bath. So is this just the small one, that small bathroom? Collins?
Yeah, he just did an estimate, he was here, we just did an estimate on the staff bathroom. But after having Rich Holden is giving me a quote either tonight or tomorrow, I can probably have it. After those guys looking at it, and then Mike came over today and looked at it. The staff bathroom's probably not gonna be
Because of the width.
the
There's
option.
not enough
there,
room.
Right,
Yeah.
we also have the panel,
Yeah.
going on there, and
Mop sink on the outside, it just seems to be a lot easier just to.
Move
the
two
male-
toilets. Right, right,
yeah,
right.
it's probably gonna be more work and more money to try to,
Convert one and just do both of them.
right,
Okay.
basing is pretty tight.
Did you get Rich for the?
We're having.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the quote.
He
Having a
didn't get
meeting
you.
next week,
No.
correct? December 2nd. Okay,
I mean, I can check my email.
Not yet.
put that on the agenda, because Rich Holden should have his estimate in, so we can get going on that. Time's actually gonna be in our favor for March. So.
He said he can get it to me.
Yeah.
It's gonna be more than.
Yeah, we'll if you would attend next week's meeting.
Ricky, just to bring you up to snuff, they talked about Phil Allen and a meeting with him, the insurance, about the assessments on the buildings.
Okay.
And he's agreed to come either day or night, and they agreed to have him come next Tuesday night at your meeting, is that
Perfect.
right?
Yep.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure all three of you were, okay. So that would be on the agenda too.
Did you ask the public? Anybody got anything? Joe?
This is a sign committee report. We're ready to get pricing for signs. Anyone want?
Thank you.
So we just want to bring everybody up to date in case the select board or even the public has any comments. So just need to get these out to you. You share it.
We can.
Thanks. Just pass these around. Sure. So the select board formed a sign committee to look into what's called an electronic message card, EMC. And we talked to a number of vendors and in fact, well, first of all, on the committee, Debbie Tate, Lynn, Chad Pine, Good Lucy, and myself. And Albina and Michelle found, and Lynn found a couple extra vendors. And Mike also found another one. He was riding by, saw a sign in Dixmont and got us the information. So if you look at the last page of the first handout, the multi-page handout, it's got a list of all the vendors that we're going to ask for pricing. And we've talked to all 6 of them, and they've expressed an interest to give us pricing. So hopefully they'll come through and we'll get 6 prices, which would be a good comparison. The first page, you know, even before I get to the first page, if you look at the other handout, Wick prepared a rough sketch for us, and it gives you an idea of what we're thinking of. We talked about possibly having the sign companies provide posts to put the sign on. And we thought maybe it would look nice if we used something like a post and beam type of structure. And I checked with Andy Buck, and Andy Buck is willing to give us a price to do that. I just have to get the sketch to him, and we have time because it'll take these vendors a little while to get to us. So take a look at that. You can see it'll have a little bit of a, like double pitched roof on the top. We're thinking that the bottom of the sign would be roughly 5 feet off the ground. And we're also anticipating that the select board will have the Department of Public Works put the 2 sonotubes in so that we can anchor the frame to them. And we added what looks like brickwork down at the bottom. That could be anything just to kind of dress it up a little bit and also provide for a little flower bed underneath the sign. And then the first page here is called the notice to bidders, and we put all the information that we could think of that we would want on the sign. And that was basically, we found that out by talking to the vendors. We didn't really know what we were looking at. We didn't know that it was called an EMC. We didn't know that 6 millimeters has to do, we thought that was the size of the letter, but it has to do with the contrast. And supposedly 6 millimeters gives you the sharpest contrast. And we have an alternate request in here for 8 millimeter because you'll save at least $1,000, and we'll have to decide, like if that contrast is suitable. With this electronic sign, there'll be 2 faces to it, and we'll be able to program them so that you'll see the same thing on both sides, and they can be multiple messages. You can add color, like they tell you that there's an infinite number of colors that you can put on it. And then you can also sequence the messages so that they're 15 seconds, 20 seconds, whatever, apart. And, that'll probably vary depending on what the message is that you want out there. Maybe there'll only be one message, sometimes. So anyway, we did our research. This first page, if you read it, when you read it, it'll tell you, what we're looking for. And we're expecting that once we get pricing in, and they're going to be sent to the treasurer, and the select board can open them. And once the select board opens them, you'll keep the original copies, make copies for us, and then we'll sort them out. We'll get in touch with the vendors to make sure they have everything we're looking for. We'll get a timeline with them as far as how long will it take to make the signs, get them here, install them. So that gives us an idea of when we have to be ready for them. And we've told them right now that this is spring of 2025 installation. So anyway, if you read that, if you have any questions, or if you have anything else you can think of to add there, just let us know. The next page, and that's a double-sided page. The next page is the proposal form. So the first thing we're asking for is the base bid, and that's the 2-sided EMC with 6 millimeter. And then alternate number 2 is for them to provide a frame. Alternate 3 is for them to provide, if you're looking at that sketch, it's what's called a banner. And, they could make up a banner that would have the town Brownfield on both sides. And hopefully, if we have the right format, to give them the town's insignia or emblem, whatever you want to call it. And then the fourth alternate is to go with the 8 millimeter and move the 6 millimeter. So I'm sure we're going to find out more information once we get the bids in. We talked to them a little bit more, and they probably give us a heads up on things. All of them told us that there's no panel that you have in the office. It's not like they have to give you a little screen. It's all done on the phone. We haven't heard out of all 6 vendors. We haven't heard anything to the contrary. It was all phone
app or something.
Yeah. So if there's any questions, let us know. We'd like to get this out next week. We have plenty of time. Most of the vendors said it'll just take them a few days to get prices back, but we're asking for prices for January 9th. That's a Monday, I believe. And then the select board will have me to open at the next meeting.
Sweet,
So,
thank you.
thanks, everybody.
Should thank the sign. committee. I
Oh.
want to thank the sign committee. This is good to go. Anybody else? Merrill Corner Road. Merrill Corner Road. Have you heard back from Leah on that?
Justin,
Yes.
he came in. So he came in and he's stating that he's starting to clean up his violations and go and do some work, so I don't know, I mean, I just taking him for face value, but he split his lot up, he's gonna sell half it, it's gonna allow him to have some funding to do what he needs to do on his property, clean some stuff up and go, but, I mean, I told him he's right there, because we've already sent it to legal, so I don't, you know, what I mean, I don't know how the time, you know, line's gonna fall on him, so if he can get it done prior, or if that just helps his case when it goes, if it does go to court, you know what I mean, if that helps him in that process, but, that's his plan, he did come in, I think it was yesterday he came in.
When was the last time you had a conversation with Leah?
Last time?
Yeah.
Last time I was up there in Jim,
No, last time we spoke to the town's attorney.
so, you know, I'd have to look back through emails on.
Reach out and see what the timeline is. That way we're in tune.
And then the only other thing we didn't touch base on was the fire ordinance. It was on the, isn't on the agenda today.
Fire ordinance. Well, yes, I got an email from Leah, the dog ordinance, let me pull it up. Let's see. Alex Pringle is currently working at Drummond and Woodson on the dog ordinance. Leah herself is reviewing the municipal fire department ordinance. I'm hoping to have the dog ordinance mid-December, and the municipal fire department could be any day. So those are in the works. So we get those back, we can start scheduling with the town clerk for the informational meetings and the public hearings for both of those. Because we could probably get those done. I would guess February, March timeframe, we could have those wrapped up. I talked to the board, see whether we want referendum vote or an open town meeting, but I would like to get these wrapped up. I do not want to push these out until town meeting. The warrant itself takes enough time. And also, we don't know what else we would have on referendum for town meeting Tuesday vote, other than just, you know, your usual election stuff. But we may have additional stuff with what we have going on, so. But yeah, we'll have to get those going. So. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
I may have missed this last meeting, I have two things, last meeting, but what's the latest with audits?
Audits, the last I heard, 22, 23 were wrapped up, quote unquote. We have not seen them yet, but it's my understanding that they're in their finishing stages. You've not heard from Karen, so just continue kind of weekly, ask what's going on. That's the last word I got, and that was Friday with Ron. Yeah.
That's good news. The second thing is, Terry was on the select board, and she'd like to know if the select board would like to report, say on a monthly basis, about what's going on with the school board.
That'd be great. Yeah,
Should I put it on the agenda for the second and last along with department head?
and just one of them.
Okay,
If it's just a monthly update, just once, yeah,
is this for Terry?
yep, school board.
Which would be best for her, do you know?
What's the options out there?
It's the second and last,
The last.
the last. one.
Yeah.
Okay. If it changes, she can tell me. Thank you.
Anything else? Yes, sir.
Has the select board gone over evaluation, town evaluation at all? Have they looked at any of the results from the community college had?
I guess I don't understand exactly what you're asking.
People, give me that number.
Don't know. I thought, One-
For the reval.
yeah,
we had-
125 split over 2 years. I think.
Yeah, there was
Yeah,
one.
125 split over 2 years. I think it was 125 over 2 years, I think. I don't have the numbers right in front of me.
Studied quite a few of the tax cards on. There's no balance on any of the properties that she's evaluating. I'll give you an example. There's 3 bedrooms, 3-car garage that's in pristine condition, even though it's 30 years old, is valued at $250. Now, you show me a house in this town with a 3-car garage that's 1,400 square feet, 3-bedroom, 1 bathroom, 10 acres of land, and you get a value of it of $250.
Wow.
You know, well, there's no consistency between property to property if you look at them across the town. The newer properties, say 5 years or 8 years and newer, are over assessed. Properties that have been here for 30 years, a lot of them are greatly under assessed. I'd say probably close to.
Okay.
There ought to be a way for the town to sit down, look over her evaluations. It's hard to pull the information up in this town because it's not online like every other town.
Well, we're working on that.
But in the meantime, would the board, select board be willing to sit down and look at some of this stuff and understand what it looks like from a taxpayer like me?
Well, I'm not an assessor. I'm not trained as an assessor. I'm not a realtor. Not licensed as a realtor. So I honestly wouldn't be able to compete in telling somebody that they don't know what they're doing, that they're wrong in their estimations.
Let's take the show you.
Well, I mean, we had that public meeting over in yep. And Bill Riley's been doing it for 30 years. And even Bill Riley admitted that he hasn't been trained as an assessor. He's
No,
basically
sold progress stays now.
well, yeah, exactly. But there's a difference, an assessor goes in and assesses value, and they have a formula. And that formula gets turned in and reported to the state yearly. And we're within our allowance for assessment. So, well, I mean, most times, honestly, from my perspective, and again, I want to put out to everybody, I'm not an assessor, I'm not a real estate agent. This is me speaking, I'm not including my colleagues or anyone else. This is just me speaking on a personal level. As a realtor, when you call me and say, I want to put my house up for sale, first thing I do when I pull up my car, I'm looking at the grass, I'm looking at the trees, I'm looking at the bushes, I'm looking at the whole initial wow, that house looks really nice. And then I'm gonna do a quick tour of the house. Oh, got that. Oh. And all the cool things that are in that house, that are done in that house and done on the property, landscaped, however, it's all a selling point that they do these big write-ups to get people to come in and buy that house. And for me as a seller, I'm happy. Hell yeah, I'm happy. Especially when the market is booming and the houses are going for $100,000 to $150,000 more than what you're asking for it. And as a seller, you are ecstatic. Love it. You pull the tax card because you're that beautiful home that you've spent your time and effort on. Market value is 700,000. You come in and pull the tax card and it's only assessed at 400,000. At no time is anybody going to walk into this office and say, you know what? My house is going to sell for $700,000. So I'm not being taxed correctly on this because it's actually worth 700,000. Somebody's going to buy my house for 700 grand. At no time, let me finish. At no time does anybody come in when they look at their tax bill. Oh, my house is only worth 250,000. Yeah, I can put it on the market today for 450. Not one time do they walk in here and say, you know, I know my house is worth more than this. That never happens. It never happens because it's beneficial to them to not pay that additional tax, even though they know it's worth more. As an assessor, they don't enter your home. So you could have, excuse the term, a polished turd for a home that's being taxed at $80,000, but you break that door and it's the Taj Mahal. You got, a full man cave that's decked right out. Your living room's awesome. You got a $50,000 kitchen. They don't know that. They don't know that. They're basing it off the value, the current market value, and they have to account for all of it. All of that goes to the state of Maine. So my question is to everybody is, if you believe that your house is overvalued tax-wise, have a realtor come out and tell you how much they can get on the market for it right now. What's the difference?
Saying this, you compare it to another property and the other properties assessed $60,000-$70,000 lower.
But what are the differences? What are the differences? Do they have a 3-car garage that is the exact same size, height, overhead storage? Do they have, what else do they have? Do they have sprinkler system? I don't know. I'm not an assessor.
Properties that I've been inside and seen myself.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is, there's no consistency in the work she did. That's all I'm saying. It's not consistent. That I find incompetent.
I would argue that. I appreciate that. I appreciate I would argue the incompetence part. I really would. The very first test that you have to do to become an assessor, most people have to take it 3 times average just to pass it. That qualification to be an assessor is no joke. It ain't. It's pretty entailed. And providing the reports to the state and the state agreeing with it. If there was a problem, there are identifiers, and they would come back and they have to justify. The state comes down and questions. Our assessors have to justify that to them. And I think it was last week I signed an abatement.
Mm-hmm.
So if you believe that you're being overtaxed, you're overvalued, then follow the process that is established and prove that you're overassessed. And they have no problems. They're very professional about it and saying, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we made a mistake. And there's not one person in this town that can look anybody dead in the eye and say, I've never made a mistake. It doesn't happen. We're human. We all make mistakes. And when you're talking a volume of information that has to be done, yeah, there's a lot to it. It's not just as simple as walking in here, pulling up Google Maps and saying, yeah, that looks like a pretty good house. That's worth 250,000. It doesn't work that way. They had to drive to each property, walk around it, take notes, mark down on the cards, and then come back here, compute it, enter it, and then submit for it to be recorded at state level. So I wholeheartedly disagree with the income part, because is anybody else taking the assessor training? Is anybody assessor certified in the state of Maine? No, didn't think so. I didn't want to.
I'm not my fair share of working with them, that's for sure, in multiple towns, and Hammett is far from Income.
Yeah. There's something that each taxpayer can always do. Again, if they feel they're being overvalued, I implore them to have an appraisal done on their house. An official appraisal, not a realtor coming in telling you this. And no, but it's going to give you a better idea, isn't it? It's going to educate you on the things that they're looking for. And keep in mind, when it comes to a mortgage, 9 out of 10 banks will always take 20% right off the top so that there's equity in that property. If you default, they're not at a total loss. And that's standard industry.
No, so what you're saying is get a bank appraisal and it won't do any good. That's what
No.
you just said.
But if you take the abatement process and you provide all that they're asking for legitimately on there, and did you turn it in?
Going to the
Okay. Well, see, I'd hold off on the incompetence part until you have a conversation with the people that did the work, and at the very least, afford them the opportunity for an explanation before we start throwing words around like that.
build houses and then involve construction.
Yep. And guess what? Put your house on the market. I guarantee it's going to be worth a hell of a lot more than what you've got in it to date. And you're going to be a very happy man when they cut that check. Seriously. I mean, the way the market is, it hasn't crashed yet. The values haven't come back yet. So the values are very high. And market value is pretty much what your assessment is based off of with their math. I don't know what the calculation is. But, for over 22 years, this town didn't get a reval. So everybody got comfortable with an undervalued tax. And now, because the market value was up, had we done it every 10 years incrementally like we were supposed to do, it wouldn't have been so much of a sticker shock.
Find so offensive. It's the imbalance between 3 or 4 other houses that I've looked at. The difference in 3 or 4 different properties compared to mine. That's what I'm upset about.
And again, I implore you to, before throwing out those words, have the conversation with them. Have you set an appointment and spoken to them?
I will do that in another 2 weeks.
I'm just asking.
So
So
I haven't yet because I'm still working on paperwork and I'm gonna be tied up for a few days, so I wanted to wait till after. But I will in the middle of December.
I would implore anybody, seriously, if they put it out several times, if they feel that their value is over, have the conversation with them and fill out the abatement paperwork. Like I said, I just signed one last week. The board did.
What's,
Is an abatement. An abatement was given. So, you know, it's not like we're saying no. By all means, please come in, fill the paperwork out, have that conversation with the assessors. Anybody else? Joe?
Two things. I'd like to echo what Bill said. The dinner on Saturday night was terrific. The gym was full, and Dickie and the rest of the firefighters and the volunteers did a great job. And one of the nice things about it is that they don't ask for a specific amount. So if there's a family out there that maybe couldn't afford that, you know, like they were able to make whatever donation they wanted to. And I thought that that was, you know, really nice of the fire department to run it that way. Second thing is, during the assessment hearing that we had, a couple of weeks ago, there was a woman there who stated that she lived in a mobile home. And she said that looking out the back, she used to have a view, but she no longer does. And the assessor said that that they assess the property for a potential view. And I think that that's wrong, and I think the town should take a stand on that to say, no, you can't do that. You can't say that they're going to have a view. It's like saying somebody's going to have a pond, and therefore we're going to assess you as if you had a pond. And if they do get a view, well, the assessors will know that, and then they'll assess them accordingly. But I think it should be a policy that the town doesn't allow assessors.
Reach out, see if Bob can have conversation, because I think that's main statute. I don't think it's us.
I think that was Lillian.
Yeah, I thought that was main statute.
Yeah, it was Lillian.
So. We'll reach out to the assessor and ask. Okay.
Ricky, could you be a little more specific? You said the town's were looking into the dog programs?
Yes, it's being reviewed and edited, if you will, added to, we'll find out when we get that back.
What do you mean, edited? You know,
Right, the attorney, I'm sorry? Yes. It's in for review for, no pun intended, teeth. Add some teeth.
Yeah, I asked you earlier, you said this being also look at what authority the ACO has to state that it's a farm, and then what authority to state that those are livestock dogs.
Correct.
That's also being looked at.
Yes.
So there's two things. Now it's gonna come up for a vote, like, so wouldn't that be up to the town to put more teeth into it? Or
Well, we have to have legal verbiage, Brian, before we can put it out to vote. It has to be vetted because, you know, if in any ordinance, it has to be defendable in court. And that's why it goes to an attorney, because the verbiage has to withstand court. So that's what we're doing right now. When they bring it back, again, we do the informational meeting, the public hearing. If there are, you know, changes that need to be made or want to be made, we will vet them to the attorney. And whenever we send it to them, they'll tell us, well, no, you can't do that because it's against Maine Constitution or this statute or whatever. Or yeah, we can put that in there and it gets added. And then once that process is done, it goes to vote. Majority vote of the taxpayers, whether they accept the ordinance changes or they don't. And at that point, if there was a good amount of teeth that was added to it and the taxpayers voted down, it is what it is. Majority rules. So, yep.
Just to answer your question, I think it was October 29th. It's the last time I spoke to Leah.
So it's
270 or.
Okay. Reach out to her if you would and see what timeline is like. Now, if you can obviously meander up there, see if anything's happening, you know what I mean? If nothing's, if nothing's happening at that point, it'll be the attorney's timeline at that point.
think the fellow in the back had a question. You had a question, didn't you?
I had a question, I apologize.
Okay.
Because I own a house in Main Street. And I know about 3 other houses that get taxed the same amount as I do. You know, more just than I do. I don't have a problem with that because I'm on Main Street. House place that makes a big difference in a lot of different tax brackets. On the.
Anybody else? No? Miss Boyle?
I'm just,
Good.
Last call.
I flashed the lights. Spot.
Make a motion, we adjourn. Yes. All in favor? Thanks, folks. So, okay. This has all been changed. Oh, yeah.